Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Echo League Season 2. This is a very special match. We've got the tiebreaker between Rocking Out with My Blackout and Spicy Thieves.Red today. My name is Mr. Robotic Warfare. I'm joined by Mr. Tenzu Tsuguri.
It's Tsurugi, but
Tsurugi. My apologies, but yes, we are here for a very special game, a best of one.
a best of one. Not something we get every day, but yeah, tiebreakers.
This is going into the bracket of the Echo League NAB bracket, and this is to determine one of the last placing teams here. So very exciting, very high stakes for this game.
Not last placing team. Both teams have advanced to the playoffs.
Aha.
However, this is just gonna be depicting their seeding.
I see.
Which part of the bracket they're gonna be in.
Well, even better. Thank you very much for the correction. And into the draft we go with our first couple of rounds of bans here.
Bans are pretty standard. Bristleback. Bristleback, despite the minor nerfs, he's still a very strong hero, very tanky hero. He still clicks pretty hard. Night Stalker, roamer hero, very strong. Almost like the old Clockwork, where you would just walk around and you would just battery assault people. Good damage, good everything.
Mm-hmm. And once again, bans on Rockin' with My Blackout. We got a Lich and a Night Stalker. One is a very fantastic support that has a lot of potential to really dominate in the laning stage. You've got that Frost Armor that gives lots of sustainability later on the game, and Night Stalker just an overall strong hero. But moving into the first phase picks, we see a Spirit Breaker for Rockin' Out with My Blackout, and an Ogre Magi. What do you think of this Ogre pick?
This Ogre pick is good. Pretty standard lane support. Could roam, especially with the fact that he has a slow, a stun, and then he can also buff his own teammate. So with an Ogre, you're usually looking towards picking up a heavy right clicker. So something like a TA, PA, Sven, etc. Spicy Thieves are probably looking to go for one of those heroes.
Alrighty. I look forward to seeing what they pick. Once again, Spirit Breaker, fantastic hero to be able to give a lot of global presence, especially in the early game when you're looking at some of those potential ganks coming into the middle lane. Very, very powerful and a fantastic tool to have for a team to really try and get that edge in the early game.
Very strong Spirit Breaker. Especially on that position 4, he can charge from level 1 and it's still a decent stun. I believe the stun is approximately 1 second, 1.2 seconds to be exact. 1.2 second stun is enough to possibly latch another stun, like say a Lina stun. What else could be good with it? They banned a disruptor, so they're probably looking for a little more of a channeled stun. So maybe like a AA, possibly.
Potentially, and also you have the ability to, with that extra stun and a little bit of knockback that's provided by Greater Bash, you also have the opportunity for a normally hero that would stay maybe a little bit behind the lines to actually have an opportunity to come and walk out and go forward. So maybe if Blackout were to pick up like a Rubik per se, Rubik does not do really good with diving behind creep waves and running up directly to a hero, but when you have the Spirit Breaker coming in, you know that the minute that the hero being charged sees the Spirit Breaker, he's going to turn around and start running away. Spirit Breaker is able to stun him, knock him back, and that brief amount of time there is enough for somebody like a Rubik to go ahead and run past the creep wave, run up to get his in range of his spells, in range of Telekinesis and Fade Bolt, and really be able to continue that combo. So not only is it specifically what spells, but also just from a positioning standpoint, that short amount of time is what allows you to continue on with something like that.
Okay, so for anybody that was wondering why the timer wasn't going down, apparently there was a pause, and I'm assuming they didn't realize that the pause came through. So that timer was stuck on 22 seconds for quite a while.
Well, we have moved back into it now with a second pick, Arc Warden from Spicy Thieves. What do you think of that?
Arc Warden is a really strong hero. Heavy nukes, mostly magical, and you build into a right clicker, especially with the fact that he's an agility hero. He's gonna hit pretty hard in the late game, along with the magnetic field, which is an evasion bonus of 100%. So that's like a win run, right? Um, Maxed out, it will be 6.5 seconds with bonus attack speed added to it. So really strong hero. Most players don't know how to utilize this hero though. This is NAB bracket though, so minor mistakes will probably go unpunished, and we'll just have to see what he decides to do with that.
Yeah, Arc Warden is one of those heroes that really depends on the snowball, depends on that early game momentum that you get. The lane is a big deal for him. That Midas timing, all of the other, ability and item timings for him definitely factor into how effective this hero can be. You also, with the Arc Warden, open up the opportunity to have a split pushing kind of thing going on. And that is something that is also really, really useful when you get later into the game because, as you said, he transitions to be a right clicker fantastically well. But if for that game plan, that particular style is not working out too fantastically, you buy the Boots of Travel and you can send the clone to go split push for you. So also, once again, a really versatile hero as an agility hero, but does need to be a little bit careful about the initial stages of the game. Coddle picked up by Blakkout. Once again, fantastic position 5 is what I'm assuming that he's going to be playing. You've got a lot of fantastic help abilities and also good push for where the Spirit Breaker might not be able to help with that. But now we move into the second phase bans. We see Legion and Invoker being taken out of the pool by Spicy Thieves, and Juggernaut and one more hero yet to be decided gone from Blackout. What do you think of this Invoker ban?
Invoker ban is good, because you're up against Arc Warden, right? With that 100% evasion, you either get a Solar Crest for a chance of true strike, which means it's not 100% that you're going to be hitting the target, but it's no longer 100% evasion. But evasion is off of right clicks, whereas you can nuke down the Arc Warden. You can throw down just a meteor, and that Arc Warden basically has to walk out of his magnetic field. That way he doesn't get burnt down by the meatball.
Mm-hmm.
But once he moves out of it, he loses his bonus attack speed along with his evasion. So it's one of those heroes that basically directly counter the hero.
Gotcha. Very good insight there. As well as now we see the Earthshaker ban coming out from Blackout. Interesting pick, potentially could be indicating the fact that they wanted to do something with sort of heroes that group up, or maybe an illusion-based hero, which, if that is the case, unfortunately just got directly countered by the Axe pick from Spicy Thieves. So potentially a fantastic pick from Spicy Thieves, potentially unknowingly as well. But Axe, rounding out, probably going to be sent in the off lane, do you think?
Offlane, most likely. Arc Warden is probably gonna go mid. The problem is the Earthshaker ban might not have indicated illusions because Earthshaker is just a very strong high ground hero. So they might be looking to take it late game. Due to the fact that in order to push high ground, you kind of group up into a small little space, and you, other than your supports, you can't really like stay in the back. So they might be looking for a more late game
kind of
line.
strategy. Yeah, do you
Yeah,
think
late
do you
game
think we're
kinda
going to see
lineup.
them pick up like a Spectre and Anti-Mage for that? Or did they go more like the Medusa route? Ooh,
Ooh.
That's a combo
Good.
right there. Blink Axe into the Lifestealer. Lifestealer, fantastic at chunking away health. Now with two Strength Heroes with the recent Centaur Warrunner pick as well. Really need to be careful on the side of Blackout for that Lifestealer because now you just have ridiculous amounts of damage being able to dish out. You have that Axe that jumps in, is able to force everybody to attack him with his Q, which disables them for quite some time. All the while, you have Arc Warden, hit shelling him out from the backside, and on top of that, you have Lifestealer popping out of the axe potentially, and also doing lots of damage right there. So definitely, Spicy Thieves looking to go for sort of the control aspect right here. They've got a fantastic tempo play here between the ogre and the axe, and that scales perfectly well into when they're going to need to start playing around the Arc Warden and the Lifestealer. However, Blackout with their own answer to the damage. Let's fight damage with damage, they say, and they pick up the man, the myth, the legend, Sven himself. How do you think the Sven plays against a Lifestealer and an Axe?
Um, the Sven is probably going to be fine due to the fact that Blade Mail was changed from pure damage to uh, the physical magical damage, depending on what kind of damage is taken while the Blade Mail is on. And Sven has his war cry, which is usually maxed right after cleave, meaning it should be maxed by level 11 approximately, which gives him 20 armor, and that 20 armor is more than likely gonna be able to sustain him enough against the axe, also against the Lifestealer. The problem here is the Lifestealer pickup to respond against that Centaur. Due to the fact that Lifestealer has the Feast,
Mm-hmm.
which is a percentage-based lifesteal of your opponent's current HP, versus Centaur's Return, which is damage given back for every successful attack based on Centaur's strength, and in which case Lifestealer gains more HP than he loses from Return.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so they really do need to be careful. There are some answers, but once again, situationally, really depends on how these heroes get started. Now, moving into the last phase of bans, we see Warlock taken out of the pool by Blackout, and Sniper as well from Spicy Thieves. Blackout respond with the Queen of Pain pick, and Spicy Thieves about to finish out their draft. What do you think of the Queen of Pain in juxtaposition with some of these other right-click based heroes that Blackout has?
Beautiful pickup. We were talking about how Invoker counters the Arc Warden basically directly, right? Due to the fact that spell-based damage won't be evaded. Which then return comes down to Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain is also pretty magic-based. However, the reason why she's so popular is the fact that she also right-clicks pretty well and doesn't really fall off, despite being an int hero. This is basically saying Quap will be able to dish out quite a bit of damage to Arc Warden, especially laning phase might be an issue. But due to the fact that Queen of Pain also relies on the right clicks, potentially Arc Warden might be fine, as in he'll live in that during the laning phase.
Fair enough, but now with the Dazzle last pick from Spicy Thieves, able to pull off that Axe and Dazzle combo, not banned out by Blackout, and I think we're going to see a lot of fantastic combos from that. So I, for one, am excited to see this game. Purely from the draft, who would you favor?
Purely from the draft, I favor Spicy Thieves a lot more. Due to the fact that I don't want to say that Rocks. I don't want to say that their draft is lackluster, but comparatively speaking, the late game potential, the split push potential, it's in the Spicy Thieves' favor, along with the Dazzle, which uh, the Shallow Grave, which will allow the Arc Warden possibly, or maybe even the Life Stealer to deal some more damage. In which case, I believe will be able to hold out against Rockstar. Is it Rockstar? Well, rocking out with my. I'll just call him Rock.
I'm calling him Blackout.
Close enough.
Anywho,
But yeah, it's one of those things where it's just the fact that the late game potential and the whole the ability to hold on the side of Spicy Thieves feels a lot stronger comparatively speaking.
alrighty, now moving into the game, a quick pause to make sure all the players are ready. But as we go, going through the lineup here, we have for the Radiant, RVZ on the Axe, Chinese Takeout on the Dazzle, Sempiternal on the Arc Warden, going mid, as you said, Pastafarian on the Ogre Magi, and rocking the 8 Tango build, Mr. Ooh, how are we going to say this one? Let's call him LDK.
LDK.
LDK on the Lifestealer. For the side of the Dire, stand in red ground on the Sven, standing in for their team. Crazy Ted 12 on the Spearbreaker, also standing in. Not like this, playing the beautiful Coddle. In the mid lane, Blood Ninja on the Queen of Pain. And Mr. Toes, he's got quite a few of them, on the Centaur Warrunner.
I believe the only real stand-in was the Coddle.
Ah, okay.
The rest of them just haven't set up their things properly, I believe.
Think we'll see any skirmishes before the horn here?
Probably not. The question is whether or not they're gonna duel offlane on the side of Spicy Thieves. Due to the fact that Dazzle acts as a pretty strong combo.
And Radiant very cleverly spotting out the ward that had just happened there, so I think they know that the Dire just placed a ward there.
They know that the Dire placed a ward, but the Dire placed a really awkward ward.
Mm-hmm.
Where usually you put it onto like the little cliff, but rather they put it on the side of the cliff and just to spot out the lane basically.
And Pastafarian here, tossing out that Ignite in the mid lane as well as the Poison Orb, just trying to do a little bit of extra harass there.
Yeah, this part was expected, the dual lane mid, due to the fact that, as we were saying, how magic damage basically directly counter Arc Warden. This means that Queen of Pain is just gonna suffer a little more, along with the fact that Ogre has high armor, and without levels, Queen of Pain doesn't actually have the damage to the magic damage to zone out the Ogre. So this is just gonna be for probably the first 4 minutes, approximately, where the Ogre is just gonna sit in lane with the Arc Warden.
Fair enough. See us going pretty well in the mid lane. Arc Warden feeling plenty of gold coming his way. Pastafarian doing a fantastic job zoning out Blood Ninja, making sure that he doesn't get too close. And he's currently only sitting at 1 last hit, so he's doing that quite effectively as well.
What I'm surprised about is the fact that they decided to do the Dazzle Lifestealer dual lane.
Ooh.
I expected something more mid lane.
Taking a lot of shots, Blood Ninja. Pastafari ran behind the tower, was taking a couple of tower shots, but Blood Ninja fell dangerously low there from the right clicks as well. Also got fluxed out, was able to salve up in the back lane. Sempiternal losing his salve, but Blood Ninja has to be careful for the Spirit here sitting right next to him. Those Spark Wraiths do a fair amount of damage even early on, but now we see the Spearbreaker charge coming into the middle lane. Blood Ninja walking forward a little bit, however, cancelled by Roshan. Is that what I heard? Oh, Ted. Roshan, cancel the charge. Can't feel good about that one. but maybe saving him for more certain doom here as 3 heroes now take out with an invis, or rather a smoke as it looked like. Running in the mid lane, did show himself some Blood Ninja. Knows that there are 3 people mid now. Needs to be a little bit careful in the meantime. In the top lane, RVZ taking a couple of hits from the Sven, but nothing serious. Axe doing quite well himself. 6 last hits, but
yeah, you're an offlaner. You don't really get last hits. Like Centaur is 0 and 0 in terms of last hit and denies. Like he just got his first last hit on the board, and that was with the Dazzle away from them, right?
Yeah. Alrighty.
Yeah, but here's what I'm surprised about. Lifestealer is a direct counter to Centaur. Like, there's nothing that can ever be more direct in terms of countering.
Yeah.
So the Dazzle being bottom is questionable. Maybe throw yourself top with the Axe?
Potentially, but the Spear Breaker is bottom currently and might be looking for a little bit of action here.
But even then, the Lifestealer is not going to die to his Centaur Spear Breaker. Along with the fact that Lifestealer has 8 tangles and he hasn't even used a single one so far.
That's true.
At this point, you might as well just let the Lifestealer get level 6, right? And if he does go get in danger, he can just go to neutral creeps. He can ulti the big creep and then just pop right back out, and instantly he'll be at full health. And if he's at full health, then what are they gonna do?
And nighttime falls for the first time here. And Blood Ninja TPing back to the mid lane, once again going back up against this Pastafarian harass. Ogre doing an amazing job, and Blood Ninja having to continuously blink out. The flux goes down, and then the right clicks happen, and man, he just falls. He loses a lot. But in the meantime, in the bottom lane, Lifestealer running forward, getting the Centaur. The Poison Touch used as well, slows him up, and LDK will draw first blood for himself and for the side of Spicy Thieves. Shame that I missed that one. I was thinking that Quap was going to go down, but no.
No, Quap has blink, so unless they somehow kill the Quap in the span of 1.5 seconds during the Ogre stun, there's probably no way that the Quap dies. It's just the fact that you pressure her a bit more. That way you get a bit more farm onto that Arc Warden. And with that bit more farm in Arc Warden, it also means that there's less farm for the Quap due to the pressure.
Speaking of farm, though, Sven doing a fantastic job right now, topping the last hits chart, as well as the denies as well. He's got 18 denies. What a guy. But in the meantime, Coddle stacking and pulling for him. Fantastic setup here. This dual lane is exactly what you want, especially when this Axe really can't be as aggressive as he wants to. He hasn't gotten any help. And Sven just throwing a stun forward to spook him a little bit, saying, hey, I'm trying to last it here. Denies the siege creep, and poor Axe. 25 last hits from jungling a little bit, but at the same time, Sven doing exceptionally well in this lane. And
this
Ogre
is fine in terms of what Sven is doing. This is fine. The denies give him experience, so 21 denies gives him almost a level, I think.
Coddle playing a dangerous game there. Almost fell to Pastafarian on the surprise roam there. Very, very lucky that Ogre did not have the mana for another stun. Otherwise, he most certainly would have fallen. But in the meantime, a Scream used in the mid lane with the Spearbreaker charge. And Blood Ninja is there to finish the job. They will take down the Arc Warden, but Dazzle TP's in the nick of the time. And looks like he was affected by a double damage in there for just a little bit. Was able to right-click him down, and Quap will fall in the meantime. However, Arc Warden disconnects with a little bit of lag. Blame it on the lag. That's how it goes. But fantastic rotation from the Spearbreaker. The Quap able to get him inside of that Scream just at the right angle to be able to get the most amount of damage while still being in a position to run away from the tower. Unfortunately, Dazzle was there to seal the deal. And Ogre now running up against Spearbreaker. He does have charge enabled, but Ogre holding onto the Mango has enough damage and enough mana as well. Potentially could see the Spearbreaker falling as well. Arc Warden has reconnected. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, on the side of Blackout, their safe lane is getting too much out of their lane, especially with the fact that it's a axe whose spin is pure damage. Oh, mid lane.
Nothing quite. Pastafarian ran up to him, but Crazy Ted just ran away as well. Sempiternal back in the mid lane now, though. Just continuing to chunk away, and a little bit of a jungle action coming here from Toes, just because does not want to give his life again.
Yeah, unfortunately for Toes here, for the Centaur, going up against this, the Lifestealer means that you have to find farm elsewhere. Oh, mid lane.
Yeah, a little bit of trade here. Sempiternal going deep for not like this. The Spirit is there. We'll go forward and we'll hit him. The Tempest double there as well to do a little bit of extra damage with that Flux. Enough to take him down. Brilliant play by the Arc Warden. Blood Ninja finishes him off quickly. And unfortunately, once again, the lag will strike again.
But yeah, as I was saying, in terms of laning stage right now, top lane is on the side of Blackout. Top lane is getting way too much. This Sven shouldn't be this farmed, due to the fact that with Axe you have the counter helix, which is pure damage. Pure damage meaning that the armor won't do anything to save the Sven.
Once again, the pause. Yeah, no. It's a good point.
And because of that, the fact that the Axe decided to jungle, which means that there was no pressure on the Sven. So Sven is getting a lot more than he should in that lane. Unfortunately, with that being the case, it means that Lifestealer needs to be doing a little more than what he has.
Axe could be in trouble here. The call going forward, TPing out in the meantime. Oh, but the stun is there. The Gauntlet able to get off, and God Strength popped at the very end there, but he will be taken down.
Yeah,
So,
unfortunately, the chances of you counter helixing is very minimal, unless you have creeps around you, which is why for an Axe he needs to make sure that the enemy has creeps and then run at the Sven basically. But
charge coming
doing
into the
that-
middle lane here. Sempiternal once again, Blood Ninja goes for the Fairy Fire, popped. A little bit of a discouragement, but the Flux in the meantime, Crazy Ted could be in trouble. Taking tower shots, the Spirit will find him, and one more tower shot as well. Not quite enough damage to do, but the Poison Touch onto Blood Ninja. Going down, taking lots of damage from the Flux because there are no heroes next to him. The Poison Touch taking him down, and will be able to kill him in the meantime. Quab will fall for that, and not for anything else as well. That's a shame to see. Quap was so close, almost able to get that Arc Warden, but the Fairy Fire at just the right time from the Arc Warden, able to discourage that, and ended up not popping the Scream in the end, but very, very close, and Quap will fall at the end of that. What does this mean for the equilibrium of the lanes now?
The equilibrium doesn't change, I believe, just from that one skirmish. However, the fact that all the supports, along with the two mid laners, were at the mid lane, it means that the side lanes are 1v1 matchups now. In which case, the Lifestealer should be winning, and the Axe should also be winning. So this doesn't really change anything. It just means that the mid lane is a little more. How did I put it? A little more to the side, in the favor, to Spicy
Use your
Thieves.
words.
Words are hard.
Yeah, no, they are sometimes. Especially in this spot. However, Pastafarian, with the Invisarin just in time, watching these other heroes and their every move, sees the ward potentially, might know that that happens, but not like this. Potentially on the chopping block here. And wandering into the mid lane, Blood Ninja could be in trouble. Throws out the Ignite. The Flux is there as well, but the Blink does not get off at the current moment. Now is able to get off, and no follow-up to be found. Quap will live this time around.
At the moment, there's just not enough damage. The Flux and the Spark Wraith are basically all your damage in that mid lane. Sven is farming the jungle. He has a Mask of Madness, so he's just gonna farm the jungle probably. He doesn't want to go up against an Axe with a Mask of Madness. Mask of Madness on a Sven is usually just to farm a little faster, and then you usually disassemble that for a Echo Saber.
Centaur Charge being used here. Spirit Breaker could be in a lot of trouble here. Axe able to connect on the call right afterwards, and Crazy Ted able to get the charge off onto the Dazzle. Nope, not able to do that, but in the meantime, Dazzle will fall at the same time. The Gauntlet misses on the Sven. Redground not able to connect, running forward with the extra speed, but Blood Ninja blinks forward, throws out that Scream of Pain, and is able to take him down. That's 2 heroes dead on the side of the Radiant. Sven ulti was committed, but that was a 2-for-1 trade.
That was unfortunate. If Axe actually had gotten his Calling Blade, his ulti, onto the Spirit Breaker, the team would have had a little more boost in terms of movement speed and such, that they probably would have been able to kill off the Quap as well. Even though the outcome probably would have been the same, it would have been a 2-for-2 trade up, rather than a 1-for-2.
Yeah.
Unfortunately though, the Quap Scream is max level, 300 damage of 300 magic damage onto that Dazzle, who only has 760 HP with 25 magic resistance. Unfortunately, it just killed the Dazzle right away, meaning he couldn't Shallow Grave, he couldn't do another heal bomb, he couldn't really do anything. That was probably the turning point of the fight. Just kill off the Dazzle, and nobody else can actually do enough.
Yeah, in the meantime, in the mid lane, Sempiternal undergoing a little bit of pressure here from the Spirit Breaker Quap combo. However, Pastafaran could be in problem here. Sven just popped his ultimate to try and deal with these Ancients here. However, the Storm Gauntlet is there, and Ogre, couple of chunks and there he's gone. However, the Spirit Double is there, and they're ready to go. The Flux on both heroes, trying to take him down. Redground and Crazy Ted both falling quite low, but Blood Ninja's here now. The Arc Double runs one way, and Arc Warden himself runs the other way. He will get out safely. Nothing much to be found there. Unfortunately, Ogre will fall, but now the game is even, 5-5. And Sempiternal will go back just to farm in the jungle here.
I like what this Sven is doing. After the Mask of Madness, he went for a Blink. Oh, this is really interesting. Have you I didn't notice this. This must be new. But moving your cursor over an item, it gives you a different.
You mean
than like
they've changed the GUI?
Yeah, they changed it.
They changed it for abilities as well. A double damage rune here at the bottom rune. Let's see who spots it out first.
I didn't notice this till now. I actually didn't notice.
Oh, they know there's a ward there. They know there's a ward there. However, getting jumped on. Sven getting jumped on by the axe. The call will miss, but he will be able to finish him off nonetheless. That is what happens when you go toe-to-toe with an axe, ladies and gentlemen. Sven was probably already quite low, but at the same time, still, lots of damage being dished out there. And a Sven charge in the mid lane because Ogre once again will be found. The charge forward able to stomp him down. Sempiternal also, the Tempest double, there to fall, but Axe TP's into the mid lane, blinks forward. Or not, yeah, he does blink forward. With that newfound blink dagger, is able to take down the Spirit Breaker now, and the Spirit there also. Blood Ninja trying to run to that shrine, not able to do so. Axe is there to finish the job, even without the Culling Blade. He's able to do it. That's 3 dead on the side of Blackout. Axe, finally, he's hit his timing. He's got that blink dagger. He's immobile here now, and he's ready to go. And also in the bottom lane, Lifesteal able to take out the Coddle as well, deep underneath that tier 1 tower. Sven has now TP'd, looking to do something here, is able to get the blink as well as the God Strength. Lifesteal with that armlet will try and rage away and escape the Sven, but that Mask of Madness is making him quite fast, trying to armlet toggle a little bit. But once again, another Warcry. God Strength still active. A blink forward again, looking for another gauntlet, but the armlet toggling to perfection. Spiritbreaker charging in now. The Shallow Grave is popped by the Dazzle, throws out a Poison Touch, and Infest into the Dazzle. Okra's here now to try and clean up. And the Lifesteal successfully has gotten out of this. Red Ground will turn around. God Strength has ended. Finishes up that Creek Camp, and Crazy Ted unfortunately not able to finish the job. Very, very good job here. But in the meantime, Ogre could be in trouble here. Charged by the Spiritbreaker. Blood Ninja is there. Right next to the shrine, though. Coddle as well. The shrine is down, though, not able to do anything. And once again, Blood Ninja with the burst will be able to take him out. The Centaur charge away, and a quick ward by Coddle. That was a very long exchange between those two teams there. And Blackout not able to find who they initially thought they would, but were able to pick out Ogre on the side. Blood Ninja sitting on an awful lot of gold. 2,000 gold in the bank. Buys a TP scroll, but not much to be seen other than that. What do you think this item is going to be? Oh, we know. It's going to be an Aghanims. Queued it up just as I said that.
Wait, Aghanims?
Yes, sir. Aghanim Scepter. First item on the Quap.
Quap.
First item. Blood Ninja. What a guy.
That's usually not advised due to the fact that the Ags doesn't actually increase your damage by that much. Your ulti's already pure damage, no matter what. It increases the damage by like...
Axe blink forward onto the Centaur. War Runner tries to stomp, tries to run away, but the dunk is there. Slam dunk. Goodbye, Centaur. Quick pickoff, though.
Bottom.
Ooh, yes, you're right, in the bottom lane. The Courier will fall as well, and Pastafarian falls once again to the Sven. However, the Quap trying to finish him off, but not quite able to get it. And picked up by the rest of the team there. Lifesteal in trouble now, trying to toggle away. Being chased by the Spiritbreaker and the Coddle. Infests into the creep. The charge casted just then doesn't work, but the Axe is there with the blink. He will fall in the meantime. However, this could potentially be some more kills for this Axe. Slowed down, though. Not able to get out from the Spiritbreaker. And Axe able to cast the Battle Hunger, but in the meantime, Sven there with the double damage. There with the Mask of Madness. There blinking in and able to kill him. That was a quite long exchange there. And that was ended up as a 4-for-2 in the side of for the favor of the Blackout. But once again, an even game, even though despite the way that these fights are going, they tend to be quite long and convoluted, split up across the map. But Blackout able to find the profit for there, and Sven chunking away happily on these Ancients now. And, you know, 20 minutes into the game, Spicy Thieves is only 1k gold up. Not even that much.
Spicy Thieves is actually about almost 2k gold up. Or, sorry, just updated. 1.8k?
1.8.
1.8k. It's not that far. The tower is 3 T1 towers down on the side of Blackout, meaning the Spicy Thieves have 3 towers worth of net worth advantage.
And unfortunately, no towers taken out by Blackout yet.
Yeah, and 11 to 11 on the scoreboard, meaning that that's all the kills there were in this game. It's they're even on the kills. Oh, it's group up. There's a smoke.
And Axe completing his blade mail as well gives them a lot more opportunities. Lifestealer infests into the Axe. Not spotted out by this dire ward here, though. They were far enough back to not be able to see it. The scan lands, and they will find the Sven there. A very potentially juicy target. He stays around for the shrine. Axe sees him, breaks the smoke, blinks away just as it happens. And Axe whiffs the call with his own blink. Sven, fantastic game sense being shown. They're able to get away just in the nick of time.
It was unfortunate because usually when you smoke up as an Axe, you want to not break your smoke, and you want to be able to blink in without breaking your smoke. Unfortunately, he broke his smoke before he blinked in, meaning Sven had enough time to just double tap that blink, which throws him closer towards his base.
Yeah. And in the meantime, Blood Ninja able to take down the first tower of the game for Blackout in the bottom lane. Spiritbreaker TPing out just in the nick of time. RVZ trying to blink on him with that lifestealer inside of him, but unfortunately they will not be found. Also, in the meantime, the top lane, also tower falling. So Blackout catching up in terms of tower. And now the charge coming in onto the lifestealer here, but decides to pull away once he sees that the axe is hot on his tail. A centaur charge will be used just to make sure that he gets out safe and sound. However, Axe still chasing the Urn charge on him. 1 second to his Blink Dagger. And the Arc Warden is there as well, trying to push up. We could see a little bit of a skirmish here, but the Dire just opt to try and run away. They do not want to take this engagement right now. And Sven back to farming the Ancients. Sven pulling quite heftily ahead on the net worth chart. Here's a full 2,500 gold in front of the next person, which is the Arc Warden. He's doing quite well. However, the thing that they do need to be careful about is that though he holds that #1 slot on the net worth chart, the next 3 are Radiant heroes. Something to be concerned about potentially. And we see the Spiritbreaker try to charge onto the Ogre Magi, but he removed himself in enough sufficient amount of time not for the charge to land. But
this might be an issue because the Sven has a Daedalus completed.
oh my goodness.
A full Daedalus completed, meaning I was talking about how Sven usually builds the Mask of Madness, breaks it up, and then he turns into an Echo Saber. But this Sven decided he's just gonna keep the Mask of Madness.
In the meantime, we're seeing a fight here. Blink in, and as well, the Centaur and the Axe able to take him down. Axe blinks forward with the Blink Dagger and the Blade Mail as well. Sven and Centaur both hold down, but they were able to take him out. In the meantime, Sven doing fantastic. Your lifesteal not able to toggle out of that either. He will die as well. Ogre throws out a quick stun onto the Queen of Pain, but the charge comes forward, and Ogre falls as well. That's a 4-for-1 trade. Arc Warden was the only person able to get out of that fight. That was a fantastic charge by the Spiritbreaker, a fantastic stun by the Sven as well, able to control everybody that they needed to control, and able to do the damage to kill off that team. Now they've set their sights on that tier 2 tower in the top lane. The Mjolnir completed on the Arc Warden, but they were not able to push out completely against that. Sven tosses out the stun. He is fluxed, but trying to do a little bit of damage, actually doing quite a bit of damage to that Sven there, surprisingly enough. But Sven continuing to push on, and these Dire heroes, not sure whether they want to retreat. They may be, yes, they are looking to retreat in the end. They knew that Arc Warden was able to defend, as the heroes were the other heroes of the Radiant side were coming back alive. But once again, shows you the real power of that Daedalus. There was a really big cleave crit in there. And Sven doing exactly what he needs to do.
It's unfortunate due to the fact that Sven has that Warcry, so all he had to do was pop that Warcry before he blinked in to fight, and the Axe blinked in to call onto the Centaur and the Sven with a Blade Mail, but due to the fact that Warcry gives Sven 20 bonus armor, 20 armor is like about, what, 15%?
That's a lot. That's a lot is what it is.
Of physical resistance, and that just keeps him alive. Even if the Sven crits onto the Daedalus, it doesn't do enough because 20 armor just neutralizes it almost.
Sven is the one with the 20 armor. Him critting would not hurt himself. But the Blade Mill active reflected not even there. But speaking of the Blade Mill, trying to reflect. And the Axe gets the call out, but I don't think he's going to live to tell the tale after this one. The Centaur charges popped, but there's the Gauntlet of Strength there. In the meantime, Quap chasing down the unfortunate Dazzle in the backside, and he will get a kill as well. Blackout, off to a little bit of a shaky start in the very early stages of the game, but now they are really showing the full force of what they can be. So, honestly, fantastic play here. Knowing exactly how to use that Spiritbreaker and that Centaur War Runner. Even though they both got picked off a little bit on the early side, they are doing a fantastic job. They had a great tempo in the mid lane, and they were really able to complete what they needed to do. What do you think Spicy Thieves' best recourse is right now?
Well, we were talking about how Blackout had the better mid game, and how these heroes on the side of Spicy Thieves would be able to hold high ground against the side of Blackout, and then return in the late game to potentially out carry Blackout. Right now, the objective shouldn't be to get pickoffs or anything like that. It should just be arc warding trying to split push, Lifestealer trying to get some farm, and possibly just hold. Just
And I mean,
hold until.
having said that, they are going for the aggressive play. They are smoked up right now. Looking across the river, they could run into a skirmish. I think they know that they're there, but unfortunately, the smoke will run out before that time, and nothing will become of that. So yeah, like you were saying, they really do need to concentrate on that split push. They need to make sure that they are giving themselves enough room to breathe so that this Lifestealer can farm a little bit more. He has, a fair amount of farm. He's almost completed that Desolator, which will do a lot against all that armor of the Sven and the Centaur. But, at the same time, you do really need to be careful about the way that this could work out for them. And now, setting their sights on the tier 1 tower in the middle lane, the Dire continue to try and push up here. Arc Warden able to defend for the time being, but that tower is falling quite low, and there are 4 or 5 heroes now. Here, the pipe is popped, and Sven is ready to go here with that BKB completed as well. We do hear the infest, and now they are going for that tower here. Pastafarian runs forward, looking, stuns the Sven. And now the Centaur charges popped. Takeout in a very bad place. Sven running right into the middle, but the Axe Call with the blink and the stun from the Lifestealer able to do so much damage. That was enough to take out both the Sven and the other person who was unfortunate to call. That was a beautiful combo. The Axe got exactly what he needed. And now the Dire are in full retreat. Blood Ninja has to TP out. And in the meantime, down in the bottom line here, the Centaur not lucky enough. Not lucky enough to get out. The Axe is there with the blink, there with the call, there with the dunk, and that is a very, very successful team fight for the side of Spicy Thieves. They did lose 2 heroes in the meantime. That Lifestealer was bursted down, but at the same time, that Axe did a fantastic job. What was different in that fight for them?
The difference was the dazzle.
And once again,
the difference was very, very simply the dazzle. The dazzle wasn't picked off first, because most of these skirmishes beforehand was the fact that the dazzle would be picked off at the very, very beginning, and he wouldn't be able to do anything. But this time, the dazzle wasn't picked off immediately. He was able to get a heal bomb off, comparative to all his other fights.
I'm not sure if you caught that, but the Tempest double just took out the Coddle there.
Oh, yeah,
and they Axe found another kill on the Quap, and they took that tower as well. So pretty big swing. Blackout looks like they were dominating the game here with that Sven, but that, like you said, the Dazzle was alive, and that blink combo with the Blade Mail and the Lifestealer, that went perfectly according to plan, and now have catapulted Spicy Thieves right back up into the lead.
This is perfect, because as I was saying, due to the fact that the side of Blackout had the better mid game, even though technically speaking we're still in that mid game, that late game has come a lot earlier than we would have expected. Well, the Lifestealer has his Desolator, Echo Saber, Armlet. The Arc Warden was split pushing. Whenever his ulti was up, he would pop his ulti, he would Midas, and then he would split push a lane, as he's doing right now. There we go. He ultis, his illusion goes into another lane. She split pushes that lane, and he gets his farm. And with that reasoning, he has a Midas, a Silver Edge, and a Molnir on top of his Boost of Trouble and Aquila.
Radiant are ready to fight again, though. Redground needs to be careful. RVZ standing right in the trees here. They will find him. Pops the Blade Mail, blinks away, and is able to catch the Quap as well, with the burst from the Lifestealers there as well. Oh my goodness, what a burst. The Sven throws forward the Gauntlet, Axe could be in a little bit of trouble here, but the Grave is there, maybe even a little prematurely, and Sven is running around all the way to the backside, trying to take out this Axe in the meantime. There's the stun from the Earth, from the Spear Breaker there. Sven continuing to go forward, disarmed though, gets the Gauntlet forward. In the meantime, in the back lane, Sempiternal will take out, the Spear Breaker, but at the same time, that Axe finally chased down, and he will die, but at the same time, you lose 3 heroes doing that. The Sven dies in the meantime, and still, they tried to take that Axe. They were very close, but the Sven got disarmed, and that the Grave was there, and that really sealed the deal here for Radiant. That was a 1-for-3 fight. They did fantastically.
That was, I believe, that was a little more of a tilt coming out there. the Sven, the Sven literally chased the Axe from their T2 all the way to their small neutral camp. With that kind of chase, he could have gone for anyone else. He could have gone for
my goodness.
the R40, he could have gone for the Dazzle, he could have gone for anyone. But no, he chased after the Axe.
That Coddle just got decimated, by the way. Oh, the Dust. Ogre probably going to die here, but Sven going forward, buyback, blinks forward, gets the Dazzle in the meantime, but, no matter how you cut it, they lost that first lane of racks there. It's gone. And Arc Warden's still inside the base, continuing to do damage here to this tower with the Tempest double. And the Dire not happy with the way that this has gone. That they needed to buy back the Sven, they needed to charge forward the Spear Breaker. Their Coddle still died. They got the 2 supports on the Radiant side, but that's not what they were looking for at all. Axe was able to TP out right under their noses, and now they look for Roche. They look for this last-ditch effort to try and continue to just force their way down the middle lane here. They will take the Roche without any contestation. Sven will pick it up, but I think they're gonna really need to look for more here to actually make this viable.
There was no vision on the side of Spicy Thieves to scout out that Roshan attempt. But even if they did, I don't think they would have contested it due to the fact that both supports were down, and fights without supports usually go
poorly, very poorly. So yeah.
So I guess that's okay. With the 2 supports down, they just take away take Roche, probably heal up, get some mana, wait for some cooldowns, and they're probably gonna look for another skirmish pretty soon here.
Don't know if you caught
however,
that, but
of course,
Blood Ninja with the casual creep CS with the screen. But Smoke from the Dire side, they're pinging. They are looking for business.
No, they know.
They're roaming around. They know.
Spicy Thieves has a ward. They
But,
smoked under a ward.
He's hitting. Ogre uses the Glimmer Cape, but he's just the double Force Staff. But unfortunately, if you pop God Strength for a single hero, then that hero's probably gonna die. And Sempiternal,
right? But I believe that's calculated loss on the side of
calculated loss.
Calculated loss is how I'm going to put it. You lose not a 5 position, but 4 position support, which doesn't really get any stronger from here. Unless
Look
he
at
gets
this
an axe.
Tempest double just chewing through this tier 3 tower. Oh my goodness. He almost took that out. He almost killed that. Holy moly, this Arc Warden is online, ladies and gentlemen, ready to spar.
Yeah, no. 20 HP left on that bottom T3.
And checking out the support items on the side of the Dire, this Coddle has, Glimmer Cape and Tranquil Boots, and the Spirit Breaker is now just going for this Glimmer Cape after buying your drums. But, the Ogre, he's got the Glimmer Cape and the Force Staff and the Arcanes, and the Dazzle has got a Force Staff and an Urn as well. So the supports, it's alternative when you look at the net worth chart there, but, that Ogre's on the top, and he's doing quite well for himself. Very, very happy with the way he's at right now.
He's doing quite well for himself, but usually in these cases, you'd rather lose a 4 position support rather than your 5 position support, despite the fact that your 5 position support is a lot less impactful in fights. he's also the defensive mechanism though. Your ogre isn't gonna get any stronger from here. Whereas your dazzle can still find like another item to keep himself alive. The ogre probably isn't gonna go for that kind of route. He's probably gonna go for like say an axe. He's probably gonna try and get a bit more damage outgoing. Maybe disable a little more.
We could potentially see a base race here. They're going for the two. No, they have to go back. The Dire know they have to go back here. Radiant just absolutely demolishing these racks here. Tosses out the cloak, tosses out the grave, but Spearbreaker trying to fight in here. A big quaff scream on these two Radiant heroes. They're actually being pushed back a little bit. Axe is about to die. The Shallow Grave is there, but he actually dies. But in the meantime, this Arc Warden able to take down one of the mid racks, and they're trying to fight off here. But Sempiternal needs to be careful. Could fall here. But there's a Hex Sven. He did pop the God Strength in the meantime, though. Dazzle's quite low. Gets stunned up. Gets also stunned by an Abyssal Blade somewhere in there. And he will fall. That's 3 heroes dead on the Radiant side. But unfortunately, it might not matter. The Dire were able to sweep up the team because they were so concentrated on the objectives. But objectives they were, and that's Mega Creeps for the side of the Radiant. They committed their lives for the lives of their creeps. I'm not sure if that's martyrdom or chivalry, but that's what happens.
No, the Arc Warden alone does so much damage to towers. Maybe the Lifesteal like swipes the racks once for that Desolator effect. But most of the damage went towards the heroes. Arc Warden, his Tempest Double, his ulti came out just before the end.
Oh, these poor Dire heroes. Sven didn't lose the Aegis, and they cleaned up pretty nicely, but Toes went from full health to like half health, taking just a couple of shots from the melee or from the Mega Creeps. And now this is their GG push right here.
This might be an issue. The Aegis just ran out.
Oh my goodness. That's some bad timing. Centaur well underneath that tier 3 tower. Poison Touch and Ignite just ticking down slowly. This is Dire's last shot right here. The Mega Creeps are going in on the top lane. They have to kill the Ancient right now, or their Ancient is just falling. Arcworn is inside that base. The Tempest Double is at least. Hexed, broken, and taking lots of damage. This Quap is going to fall to the Tempest Double without even being able to toss out that. And now Dire are in full retreat. They have to defend their throne. They try and gonna give a little bit more longevity. Queen of Pain will buy back, screams the Mega Creeps, but now the Radiant triumphantly marching down the middle lane. Infested Lifestealer and the Axe, and I think this is the end of the line for the Dire. I don't think they come back from this, honestly.
You could. Theoretically, you could.
Oh, anything is possible, but I just don't think so.
Probably not.
Watch as this that poor soul, the Sven, down for 100 seconds with no buyback. That was their answer right there. But now hexed and broken and stunned all different kinds of ways. Ogre will be able to get Shallow Grave, but the Axe is there with the call, and Spearbreaker trying to do something, but the Lifesteal about to run in, about to just wreak havoc. There goes Centaur. There goes Spearbreaker. There goes the Quap, and there goes the Dire Heroes' chance. And GG will be called.
Well played.
And now we know, seeding-wise, Spicy Thieves take the best of one game. Very, very beautiful game shown. Despite the adversity shown in the middle of the game, they were able to power through. That one Axe Blink combo was able to change the course of the game, and they did so very effectively. So Spicy Thieves take the victory.
This was calculated, I believe. At the very beginning of the game, I did say that Spicy Thieves had a weaker mid game, but because their early game was so strong, that mid game was cut short. In the case of their late game items, the items they should have gotten a few minutes later came a little earlier, and it cut off the Blackout's mid game short, meaning that they were able to the comeback mechanism wasn't enough for the Blackout team to actually utilize.
Yeah, but
Does
taking a
that
look
make
at
sense?
yeah, no, it does. But looking at these scoreboards and just looking at the way that the XP net worth went, like you could see there was definitely it went back and forth and it slowly exaggerated. Funnily enough, experience ended on the side of Blackout, but the net worth was climbing up towards 16,000 in the favor of
No,
Spicy Thieves. But yeah, no, we see that Arc Warden, just the effect that he had, extreme. He crossed the Sven at the half an hour mark, and he just continued to skyrocket upwards. You can see the sort of the beginning of the exponential curve there, which is the way that Arc Warden works, man. But no, fantastic job by both teams. Spicy Thieves able to take it in the end. That Arc Warden coming through clutch, as well as that Lifestealer, who has a fantastic set, by the way. I love that set. But
who's that?
Lifestealer.
Oh, this set.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. But I mean, there you go.
It's okay.
This is an exercise in Dota 101, ladies and gentlemen. You farm, you kite, you snowball, and you win the game. Beautiful job from Spicy Thieves.
It was a very disciplined show out from Spicy Thieves. I feel like maybe the early game could have gone slightly better. Lanes went about as expected, but I feel like there could have been a bit more pressure during that laning phase, meaning that maybe that mid game wouldn't have even appeared. That mid game comeback from Blackout might not have even appeared if that was the case.
Yeah, fair enough. But nevertheless, Spicy Thieves able to persevere.
And on the side of Blackout, sorry, just let me finish this train of thought.
Yeah, go
on
for
the
it.
side of Blackout, maybe that keeping the Mask of Madness to during that late game isn't exactly the best idea. I mean, you still need that lifesteal, due to the fact that you run at people and you right click people, and that's all you really do. But maybe like say, don't keep a Mask of Madness, run a break it up into a Echo Saber, maybe sell the Echo Saber for Assault Couriers later on. Your Morbid Mask could possibly go into a Satanic or something of the sort. And Quap first on, Ags first on Quap is more or less never the best idea, unless you're so far ahead that you feel like you don't need items. Then maybe you can go for Ags first, but Ags on Quap is usually not recommended due to the fact that all it does is it increases your damage output by like about 100, 150, 200.
Yeah.
And it reduces the cooldown, so you can use your ulti a little more often, but it's not enough comparative to say if you were to get that Orchid first. Maybe build into a Eels or a Hex. You could have used the Arc Warden when his levels on that magnetic field was still low. Then that magnetic field is basically wasted.
Something with the Lifestealer
about to run that could have been a possibility. You could have just Orchid and maybe blink Orchid and just deal as much damage as you could onto a single hero. I mean, Orchid is a really good item against the heroes on the side of Spicy Thieves. Dazzle, without his skills, he is 2-shot for the Sven. The Arc Warden, without his magnetic field, without his ulti, without his skills, probably wouldn't have been able to kill the Quap. Axe is an exception, honestly. You might silence him during a team fight, so he can't blink call right away. Maybe that will lead into taking out another hero first before the axe comes into play. Delay his power curve a little. Ogre doesn't really do anything without his skills either. And Lifestealer, if you silence the Lifestealer, he can't rage because raging is Lifesteal's basically Lifesteal's built-in BKB, but the weak point is the fact that you can't use it when silenced, and without the rage, Lifesteal is actually pretty weak. And
Yeah.
with like so these are, rather than outdrafted, I feel like this was more of an outplayed. Maybe work on those item decision choices, and possibly you might go further into the brackets.
Yeah. I certainly look forward to seeing these two teams play more. But thank you very much for your analysis for this set. This has been Spicy Thieves versus Rocking Out with my Blackout. Congratulations to Spicy Thieves for the winning of the match. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Mr. Robotic Warfare. I've been joined by Mr. Tendu Tsuguri. Thank you very much for watching, and we hope to see you around.
Stream is stopped.